Hi, my name is Anna. It's a great honor to introduce the official Inar website. Inar, or International Affairs Research, is a blog where you will find information, opinion articles, and analysis of the most relevant political, economic, social, cultural events, and so forth on the international scenes. You will be able to consult our page from any device and browser. Also, in the content section, you can send us your comments, questions, or suggestions. You can even send your content that may be published on the official Inar website. Information about the creators of Inar will be appear in the About section. We are international relations students. Our mission is to create content that helps to understand the international scenes through Inar. Last October, we published a special section, Education in Times of Coronavirus, the case of Latin America. Education is a key tool in the fight against poor and social inequalities. If education is stopped, serious problems arise in such various fields. The coronavirus pandemic challenges educational systems in Latin America and requires a strong policy from governments to offer educational continuity during lockdown. We will talk about how the situation has been experienced in Colombia, Mexico, and Guatemala.
My name is Luisa Fernanda. I am a student of International Affairs. I am going to talk about education in Guatemala in the pandemic. Since March, the President Alejandro Guamatei implemented a television program to give classes, but not everybody has access to telecommunications or technology. So, the national education systems uses the national-based curriculum that include the competence, capacities, abilities, attitudes, skills will help to the students. By 2021, it's expected to change the national-based curriculum and that it become integrated in technology to improve online classes. In case they return to classes, the Ministry of Education is developing a plan although students will have to adapt to in the new conditions. Some children may drop out of schools for fear of getting infected or because they will need to work due to the economic crisis that is being experienced. It's important to create a comprehensive plan for students is essential because they must enjoy the right to education and support programs of the emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Another tool of the educational systems is I Learned at Home, created by the Minister of Education in order to continue learning at all school levels. It will broadcast at home and you have three aspects. The first, education delivery. Second, social interventions. And third, it's important talking advantage of time at home. For parents, will be supported with tips so that support using the necessary material.
Hello everyone, my name is Itzayana and I am a student of International Affairs major. Well, I'll talk to you about Mexico education during the pandemic. Firstly, we know that the basic education in Mexico continues to be a privilege. It is said that before the pandemic, the education was insufficient. It is reported that in the country, 2 out of 10 basic education students do not have basic furniture. With the arrival of the coronavirus in Mexico, The problem of poor education that has affected Mexican children for decades has been accentuated due to various factors. The lack of access to electronic devices or the internet of marginalized families. Technological illiteracy by teachers, even parents, have complicated the work of continuing the educational work online. The digital divide is reflected in the most marginalized states like Oaxaca, Chiapas, and Guerrero. INEGI assures in the National Survey on Availability and Use of Information Technologies in Home 2019 that 76.6% of the urban population is an internet user, while in rural areas the user population is located at 47.7%, and at that, to this only 44.3% have a computer in their homes. With all this, I conclude that education during the pandemic, unfortunately, has become more privileged since several children and adolescents did not return to classes this school year.
Hi everyone, I am Paola and I'm going to talk about Colombia. In Colombia, as in other countries affected by the pandemic, the measure was taken to close schools. Faced with this situation, the most appropriate strategy to avoid suspending classes and affecting the school calendar is to replace face-to-face classes with virtual ones. However, it became clear that this possibility is not viable in public schools in the country, where it's calculated 80% of children and young people study, mainly for two reasons. Firstly, the lack of access to technological tools of most Colombians. Secondly, the lack of digital skills on the part of the teachers. The Colombian government, before the pandemic, had been investigating in digital education platforms. Currently, Aprender Digital is a platform that contains more than 80,000 digital education resources that include everything from videos to applications and games, organized by grades. The country, like other Latin American countries, television has begun to broadcast educational programs on the radio and in public. Another of the government initiatives is to pool the resources of teachers and family members to teach socio-emotional skills in the face of the crisis. In recent years, the country's universities have presented in a falling figure in student enrollment. It's affirmed that in 2017, 38,000 students stopped enrolling compared to previous years. Currently, some university students have been not be able to continue studying due to the lack of resources to take classes online. Colombia, like other countries, will wait for the risk rate to decrease to allow to return to classes. If you want to share some information with us, you can go with the part of contact. It's a pleasure for us have you here. Thank you.